Hey friends, welcome to the Angie Ambrosetti Show. Let her out to play. I'm Angie, your host, a teenage mom turned multi-six-figure earner, married to the same man for nearly 40 years. I'm a homeschooling mom of 7 and totally unqualified, at least on paper, but wildly called by God. Remember, He doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Here, we are going to talk about it all: healing from the hard stuff, building a business with heart, raising a big family, walking in faith, and finally breaking free from the lies that said we weren't enough. So if you're ready to stop playing small, shake off the doubt and the shame, and step fully into who you were created to be, girl, you are in the right place. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Angie Ambrosetti Show. Oh my goodness, another day, another week, another podcast recording. And I've just been thinking about a lot of things lately. And so I just wanted to share a couple thoughts with you guys today. And as we're stepping into this new year, I keep hearing the same thing everywhere, okay? You guys have heard this before. It's nothing new under the sun, right? January, it's time for a reset. January, that's when I'm going to start. After the holidays, I'm going to get serious with my health, with my organization, with spending, all the things, right? And so I just want to say right out of the gate, I didn't wait till January. I usually don't wait till January. And this year, I decided I absolutely wasn't going to wait until January to start weight training, to start strength training. So I started back in November. No shame, whatever you're doing. I'm just telling you, like, my story, my journey, what I decided to do. And that might not sound like a big deal to some of you that I started in November instead of January. But for me, it actually is. Because I've always been that cardio girl, right? Like I would walk, I was always into moving my body. I've done some running, jogging, always have stayed really active. That part just kind of came naturally to me. But strength training, it felt unfamiliar. It felt uncomfortable and honestly a little bit intimidating because my personality is if I'm going to do it, man, I'm going to go all in and I want to do it the best that I can. But I was a little intimidated. I was a little scared to do it. But something shifted in me this past year and I decided, you know what? I'm going to stop telling myself I can't do it. Or I'm going to stop telling myself, maybe when it's easier, maybe when I have more time, and maybe when it's the new year. And so I decided that I was going to start back in November and I wanted to train myself before it felt convenient. Because quite honestly, in November, when Thanksgiving is coming, Christmas is coming, all the holidays, we tend to just decide we're going to wait until the new year. And I don't know about you, but I have been following statistics and they say that by the 21st of January, which is in just a couple days from when I'm recording this podcast, it's National Quit Day. It's when people decide, hey, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to quit. They usually go 3 weeks in and then they're done. Because it's like day 21, they say, is that when you start creating habits, if you do it consistently for 21 days, then you're pretty much in, right? However, why is it that day 21 in January is National Quit Day? Because most people, that's when they give up before the magic starts to happen. So I walked into the gym back in November, not in January, and I started lifting weights. Not perfectly, not even confidently. Like I was super intimidated, but I started doing it consistently. And when I started, honestly, I could barely do very many reps with 5 pound weights because my arms, they just didn't have a lot of strength in them. And so, I'm continuing to do that. I'm working with a couple different trainers to keep me on track, to keep me consistent because I know that over time, that's when the magic happens. It's like in my network marketing business that I'm in. I have been in the same company for almost 11 years, and I deal in health and wellness. I help people stay consistent with their eating, with moving their body, with taking their supplements, with drinking water, with getting good rest. All of those things are amazing tools that we all need to have in our toolbox. And so I decided that was the one piece for me that was missing, was that I really needed to hone in on that strength training because as I'm aging, I need that. I need the extra strength and the muscle tone in my body. And I'll just be honest with you, today when I was at the gym, for the very first time, I felt this excuse go through my head that said, "Hey, I'm almost 60 years old. No wonder I couldn't lift 70 pounds," and that went through my mind and I would just kind of laughed because I'm like, this is the first time I've ever used my age as an excuse. And I only said it in my mind, but they say that we talk to ourselves. I don't even know the statistics. I can't remember now, and I'm probably going to get it wrong, but it's like over 80,000 times a day we talk to ourselves. We say things to ourselves that we wouldn't say to other people. So I wasn't going to verbalize that out loud, but it went through my mind. And I was like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? I'm not going to tell myself that. I'm not going to let age be the reason that I say I I'm able to do this or I'm able to do that or I'm not able to do that or this. And so anyways, I just thought that was kind of a little humor that I put through my mind today, but yeah, just starting back in November with that strength training has really been a game changer for me. And now I'm able to lift so much more. I'm going to the gym 3 to 4 times a week and I'm just staying consistent with it. And going to a gym is something I actually have not done since before I was married. So we're talking about almost 40 years ago was the last time that I went to a gym outside of my own home and did any kind of workout. So I'm feeling kind of proud of myself right now that I'm sticking with this and I'm going through it. And so I don't know, I just thought it might be some encouragement for you that no matter where you are, if you didn't start January 1 or you didn't start in November or you haven't started yet, you can start. You just decide what that's going to look like. One of the other things that I'm doing right now is I'm in the middle of doing a 75 hard carnivore style challenge. And I talked a little bit about this last week on the podcast. And for me, it isn't about extremes or proving anything to anyone. It's just about discipline and structure and keeping promises to myself. And so basically, how this 75 hard carnivore style challenge is going is that for 75 days, you work out at least 30 minutes a day. And you also work out 15 minutes outside. It has to be outside. Also, it is giving positive words of affirmation to someone, giving them positive feedback, just acts of gratitude, service of gratitude towards someone else. It's also eating a carnivore style diet for 75 days with no cheat meals, no sugar, no junk, just carnivore. And basically, what that is you're eating meat, you're eating eggs, you're eating butter, and high fats. So basically, anything that comes from an animal that doesn't have any sugar added to it or whatever. And I do caution people to be careful with dairy because dairy can be super inflammatory. But, anyways, yeah, I'm running a 75 hard carnivore style group. And if you're interested in that, hey, let me know because you can still hop in. Like, we are just a few weeks in. We started, I think the first Monday in January. We're just a few weeks in. You can just pick up wherever you want to if that's something that you want more information on, or if you're looking more for a carnivore-ish, ISH style. I am known as the approachable carnivore, and I help people get started carnivore ish because that is where most people fall and they want to get rid of the carbs and the sugars and get things out of their diet. And so I'm helping them do that. And, just really trying to help people see that they can make small changes over time, and those things compound to be big, massive changes over time. And so you don't have to start all the way hardcore, whatever that looks like for you, but just starting to make small changes to improve your health. And one thing that I've been very intentional about during this season of starting to, or, for 2026, starting to do strength training, doing this carnivore style 75 hard, is I've been really intentional about thinking about the way that I speak. And so I have been coaching a couple clients on this specifically. And as I'm coaching other people, it's just infiltrated into me as well. And I'm trying to be really intentional with it. I am actively training myself to stop using absolute language because absolute words, they sound harmless for the most part, but they are super powerful and not really in a good way. Words kind of like always, never, I can't, I don't have time. That's just how I am. That's just the way I do things. Or I've tried everything, nothing works. When we speak in absolutes, we box ourselves in. And instead, I've been trying to reframe the way that I say things. Does that make sense? Rather than saying, I don't have time for this, I'm learning to say, that's really not a priority for me right now because the truth is, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And so our priorities get set to what we want them to be, right? Because the truth is, most of the time, it's really not about the time, it's about the priority. And it's okay if something is not a priority to you. You can just simply say, that's not a priority for me right now. And I'm learning to say that myself because it's not always easy. But I know this is that when I actually say that's not a priority, I take the responsibility instead of giving my power away. Instead of saying, I don't have time for that, right? I'm just saying, hey, that's not a priority for me right now. And that's okay because everything doesn't have to be a priority for me right now. And it doesn't have to be for you either. And I'm also paying attention to the things that I used to say about myself. Okay, you've probably heard me talk about this before, but instead of saying, I never stick with things, I'm trying to say I'm learning consistency. So, in light of going to the gym and doing strength training, I'm learning consistency. I can do hard things. Okay. Another idea is I always quit. If that is something that you say on a regular basis, you could turn that around and say, I'm building endurance. Like I'm doing little bits and pieces. And like we talked about earlier, it's those small wins that compact over time that make for the massive win. And instead of saying, I can't do this, you could say something like, I'm doing this imperfectly, but I'm still doing it. Again, when I go to the gym and I'm looking at those weights and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, that is a ton of weight. How am I ever going to lift this? Or whatever that might look like in your circumstance, I'm still doing it imperfectly. And that's okay because I'm building up that endurance. Like I told you at the beginning, I started with 5 pounds with the hand weights, and now I'm up to 15. I'm doing more and more, but it's that consistency that's paying off. And I didn't start doing it perfectly. And so it's kind of like words, they really train your nervous system, just like weights train your muscle. It's like muscle memory. Words do the same thing. So when we get in the habit of using negative words or absolute words, we're always saying this. For instance, nothing ever works out for me. That isn't true because some things do work out for me. Or I had someone tell me, nobody likes me. And I was like, I like you. So that absolute word of nobody, it isn't true. But we get in the habit of saying these things over and over again. And then it's like they become reality to us. And so we want to really train our brains just like we do our muscles and get that brain memory muscle working over and over again. And really this season has taught me that I'm not just building strength in my body, I'm building strength in my identity. I mean, just thinking that less than a year ago, I didn't even have this podcast. And guys, I was scared to death the first time that I was thinking about launching this podcast, but I did it and I did it scared. And it's totally fine. I didn't die. That's what my friend Amy always says. But did you die? No, I didn't die. And I'm getting such great feedback. And so it's just teaching me that consistency over time is really such a powerful tool. I'm teaching myself that I don't need a new year to change. I didn't need a new year last June when I started the podcast. I just needed a decision to say, I'm doing it, and I did it. Right. And so, January, because that's where we are at the beginning, kind of in the middle of January right now, but January doesn't make you disciplined. A calendar does not create momentum, but choices do. So, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I wish I had already started. Let me tell you something. You don't need January 1st. You don't need February 1st. You don't need perfect conditions, and you don't need more information. You might just need a brand new sentence. Using one less always, that's an absolute. Using one less never, another absolute. Maybe one less, I don't have time, because I'm going to tell you, that's what I said for a long time. I don't have time to go to the gym. Are you crazy? I don't have time to do strength training. I don't have time for this. It wasn't a priority to me. Now it has become a priority to me. And so I just go earlier in the morning instead of sitting scrolling on my phone or doing whatever around the house, making excuses basically that I didn't have time. I found the time because I have the same 24 hours in a day that everyone else does. And one more honest choice is to just show up today. I decided I was going to start in November. You can decide that you're going to start when you're ready, if that is on your plate. And so, I don't know. I was just thinking about January and the new year and all the things, a few different things that I'm implementing for this new year, new me, whatever. It's really not a new me. It's just me deciding that I'm going to make a choice. I'm making a choice to do strength training. Number one, I'm making a choice that I'm not going to let me rephrase that. I'm making a choice that I'm going to start decreasing the amount of absolute words that I'm having speaking into my vocabulary. And number three, I'm making a decision to stop saying, I don't have time, because I'm taking back that power and I'm saying, that's not a priority for me right now. But maybe when it is a priority for me, it'll fall in line. So, those are just some of the thoughts that I had. I wanted to hop on and share them with you guys. And I hope this is encouraging to you, whatever you're looking at, whatever you're feeling like, this is what I need, some of the decisions I need to make for this new year. It doesn't have to start January 1. You don't have to wait now till January 2027, right? You just need a decision And remember that those small little things, the small wins, add up over time to make for the massive win. So I hope this is encouraging to you in this cold winter day of January. At least it's cold where I am. So I hope you guys enjoy this podcast, and I look forward to chatting with you again next week on the Angie Amberzetti Show. Thanks so much. That's it for today, friends. Thanks for tuning in with me today. I hope today's episode stirred your soul, sparked your faith, and reminded you that your story is far from over. Keep walking in freedom, keep showing up bold, and never forget, God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Be sure to leave a review, subscribe, or share this podcast with a friend who needs to hear it as well. Until next time, keep letting her out to play because the world needs your fire.